Apple's M3 family of Macs are finally getting a huge upgrade that us consumers have been asking Apple for literally over 7 years. Yes, for the first time ever, Apple's base Macs are likely to come with more than 8 gigabytes of RAM, which was basically the #1 complaint about Apple's MacBooks. And not only that, but the detailed specs and core counts for the entire M3 family of chips have just leaked this morning on Mark Gurman's Power On newsletter. So let me go through and explain every little detail before I get into the insane RAM details for each chip in the lineup. Starting with the M3, this is probably the most straightforward chip in terms of the revealed core counts, which Mark Gurman discovered from a developer digging through test logs for all of these chips. The M3 will come with an 8-core CPU made up of 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, as well as a 10-core GPU. So the layout will be literally identical compared to the current M2. The main difference will be the new upgraded cores built on TSMC's brand new 3nm chip technology, so we should still get a nice boost in performance and efficiency, and Apple's also gonna bank on the RAM upgrade to really push people to buy. And by the way, I do want to mention that the GPU cores should be getting fully redesigned this time around, using the same cores as we'll be getting on the new A17 iPhone chip. And we know this because last year we had a report that Apple was planning to fully redesign the graphics cores for the A16 chip, but they didn't get it ready in time for launch, so Apple simply reused the same exact GPU cores from the older A15, which Geeker1 on YouTube has already proven and confirmed by showing the die shots and efficiency charts. So for this year, we should 100% expect fully redesigned GPU cores on the A17 and all of the M3 family of chips, hopefully including hardware ray tracing as well. Now moving on to the M3 Pro chip, this is where it gets very, very interesting. The base bin chip that'll be exclusively for the base 14-inch MacBook Pro is gonna have 12 CPU cores, 2 more than the base M2 Pro currently has right now. However, instead of adding 2 more performance cores, Apple will be adding 2 more efficiency cores. So there's gonna be 6 performance and 6 efficiency, which is a bit of a weird combination and weird choice from Apple, but it's probably to boost the battery life on the 14-inch MacBook Pro. Now you will have the option to upgrade the chip to the fully unbinned 14-core version, which is gonna add 2 more performance cores, and that alone is gonna provide a big boost in performance compared to the current M2 Pro. And keep in mind that the base 16-inch MacBook Pro is gonna be coming with the full 14-core upgraded M3 Pro at the base price, so that's very nice. And as far as the graphics, the binned model will come with an 18-core GPU, and the upgraded M3 Pro will come with 20. So basically just 1 extra core compared to the current 19-core M2 Pro. But now let's get into the big boy, the M3 Max chip, which is gonna shake the tech world because of Apple's very unique approach. Every single M3 Max chip, even the binned version, is gonna be coming with a 16-core CPU, which is 33% more cores than the current M2 Max. This detail is incredibly important because for the first time ever, Apple is finally giving the Max chip more CPU performance than the Pro chip. Because for the last couple of years, Apple's Max chips didn't have any CPU performance advantage over the Pro. The Max chips have simply been all about boosting graphics power, and that's it. And this was incredibly annoying to users who didn't really care at all about graphics and would prefer to pay more for the Max chip to get more CPU performance, but no, Apple kept them identical on that front. And the worst part of all is that some customers who need CPU performance also need a lot of RAM. But to upgrade to more RAM, Apple forces you to pay for the Max chip first to unlock those higher RAM options, which makes it insanely expensive. But now the M3 Max chip will finally have 2 extra CPU cores than the M3 Pro. But making it even better, the M3 Max doesn't come with 6 efficiency cores like the M3 Pro chip, but only 4 of them, which means that this new chip is gonna have a grand total of 12 performance cores, 4 more than the Pro chip, which is basically what you want for maximizing performance. Right now, the M2 Max only comes with 8 performance cores, so the new M3 Max will essentially have 50% more P cores, which will lead to a massive performance increase. I estimated the performance of the M3 Max chip in a previous video, and it hit a huge 20,024 points in multi-core, now being almost as fast as the current M2 Ultra chip in terms of real-world performance, which Geekbench 6 does a great job at with its new method of multi-core testing, which has all of the cores tackle one single large task, which is why the M2 Ultra right now is suffering from diminishing returns with its 24 cores, and it only scores a little bit higher than my estimates for the M3 Max. And now moving on, in terms of the GPU core counts for the M3 Max, it's just a very small upgrade with 32 GPU cores for the bin chip and 40 cores for the upgraded M3 Max. And with that said, let's finish up with the final chip in the lineup, the M3 Ultra. Assuming we don't get the M3 Extreme, which honestly, with these core count changes, I don't even know if we'll need an Extreme chip. The M3 Ultra will come with a massive 32 cores, with 24 of them being performance cores, which is just crazy. Only having 8 efficiency cores, which makes sense because desktop Macs don't even really need them. And as far as the graphics, you'll have a choice of either 64 GPU cores or 80, which isn't that big of a jump compared to what we have now, but it'll still help thanks to the new GPU core design. So this chip is gonna perform incredibly well thanks to the 50% more performance cores, and it's likely gonna kill it in terms of real-world performance compared to Intel and AMD chips, thanks to the unified memory architecture. And speaking of the memory, let's get into the RAM leaks. For the first time ever, we're expecting all base M3 Macs, including the MacBook Air, the Mac Mini, and the 13-inch MacBook Pro and iMac, to come with 12 gigabytes of RAM standard. And how do I know this? Well, there are 3 good reasons. Number 1 is that Apple gave us a new and curious RAM option on the current M2 Max, allowing you to upgrade to 24 gigs of RAM, which meant that Apple began purchasing 12 gigabyte physical RAM chips from their suppliers. Number 2 is that we actually have confirmation that Apple's RAM supplier SK Hynix made the shift from 8 gig to 12 gig RAM modules a couple of years ago, so they no longer make 8 gigabyte chips anymore. And number 3 is that the chip spec for the M3 Max has leaked, and it has 48 gigs of RAM, which we've never seen before. A big upgrade from the previous 32 gig base RAM. So this shows that Apple has completely moved on from 8 and 16 gigabyte RAM chips to 12 and 24 gig chips. So with that said, here are the RAM details for each chip in the lineup. The M3 is gonna come with 12 gigs of RAM, allowing you to upgrade to 24. The M3 Pro will come with 24 gigs, allowing you to upgrade to 36 or 48. The M3 Max is gonna come with 48, allowing you to upgrade to 96 gigs of RAM, and maybe even up to 144 gigs if Apple is able to purchase even larger 36 gig RAM modules, but I'm not really sure about that one. And then finally, the M3 Ultra, which will come with 96 gigs of RAM, allowing you to upgrade to 192 or potentially up to 288 gigs if the 36 gigabyte RAM modules will be a thing. So now every base Mac in the lineup will be getting a 50% RAM boost across the board, which is a massive deal, and that's on top of the performance gains. So let me tell you now, the upgrade demand for the M3 family of Macs is gonna be so much higher than the M2. And all I can say is that if you can wait for the M3 family of Macs, please do, because they're gonna be insane. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, subscribe above and check out my M3 Max performance calculations video right over there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.